Hi, everybody. It is Isabel and Georgia.
Hello.
We're from Moms in Security. We work as researchers, and we also have the podcast Traffic Jam. So you might know us from there. We just wanted to come on really quick because we both watched the new film Sound of Freedom that came out on July 4th recently. And so we wanted to go ahead and give a quick reaction. First of all, though, we encourage everybody to go and see it while it's still in theaters. It was a phenomenal film released by Angel Studios. And essentially, the film tells the true story of Tim Ballard, who left law enforcement to be able to conduct sting operations to save children who are being sex trafficked. The movie specifically closely follows 200 children who were taken by a sex trafficking ring. And the movie also highlights a lot of important statistics about human trafficking to help raise awareness on just how widespread this issue is.
So, the importance of this movie is not to sensationalize human trafficking or the rescue missions that have and do take place in scenarios like this, but it gets the conversation around human trafficking started. As we say on our podcast, stereotypes exist for a reason. And this is a stereotype that is portrayed, but these scenarios do happen in large numbers.
I would say this is a really great film to see if human trafficking is something that anybody has recently learned about or discovered was an issue, because it really lays down like the foundational knowledge of what's going on and one type of human trafficking scenario that exists.
Another thing that this film does is it makes viewers pretty uncomfortable without sexualizing the children on screen. Like as a viewer, you have the sense, like that third sense of what these abusers will do and are going to do to the children without actually abusing or sexualizing the children themselves.
That's what I really appreciated too. While obviously, because of the topic, it is a difficult movie to sit through, nothing overly graphic is shown, simply implied. But now I'm sure many of you have heard all about all the controversies that are surrounding this film. And I know for many people that has actually prevented them from going to see it for themselves. Georgia, do you want to talk a little bit about some of these controversies? I know we don't have time to get into all of them.
A lot of the language that speaks negatively about this film says it's right wing paranoia, it's mealworms or brain worms for dads, and it links to the QAnon movement. And it's a super dramatification of human trafficking. We do want to assure people that human trafficking is a real issue, and we do have government organizations created to fight this issue. And we do know, according to the International Labor Organization, that human trafficking is approximately a $150 billion industry. It's the second most lucrative black market, second only to the illegal drug trade. But there was a really important quote in the movie where the main actor said, you could sell a bag of cocaine once, but a child 5 to 10 times a day.
And so, because of that, people are actually predicting that human trafficking in a few years is going to surpass the illegal drug trade.
And that's also based on trends with child abuse materials online. They've seen a trend in child abuse materials, just their presence online, as well as viewership of those materials. Despite all the controversy around this film, human trafficking is real. There are children and adults enslaved in what is considered modern day slavery all around the world, including in the United States. So, this movie is definitely worth seeing just to open your eyes and get your hearts and mind open to learning more about this topic.
And one reminder that I do want to leave people with is that the human trafficking scenario that is portrayed in the film is not the only way that human trafficking occurs. In the film, you're going to see a kidnapping that is carried out by strangers to these children, which does absolutely occur. But we need to make sure not to narrow our understanding of human trafficking to this one portrayal. People are not always kidnapped. Familial trafficking or trafficking by a romantic partner is also very prevalent. You're not always going to see, the transportation of people across country lines. They're not always locked up and in chains. Um, so this idea of expanding our understanding of human trafficking is something that Georgia and I spend a lot of time discussing in our podcast. So if you're interested, you can definitely look that up. It's called Traffic Jam, and we are on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Google Podcast. But definitely, we encourage everyone to go see this film and do more research on your own to just get a more full understanding of what human trafficking can look for, what the signs are, and what you can do if you see these signs.
Yes, we highly encourage seeing this movie and tuning into Traffic Jam every other Monday.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.